Well, my friends, it was inevitable that it would happen. First, we had sharks caught up in tornadoes, and then we have clowns that are now on the rise in the horror genre as the subject or main villain. So eventually, you knew someone would try to combine the two, and that's exactly what independent filmmaker Todd Sheets has done with Clownado. Yes, written and directed by the veteran Todd Sheets, we get a story of a ragtag group of folks made up of a stripper, an Elvis impersonator, a young lady, a reluctant hero slash a bit of a drinker, and a femme fatale, all dealing with supernatural cursed clowns that travel by tornado that are looking for revenge against the femme fatale. And we see how this ragtag group is caught in the middle and just trying to survive the night while trying to figure out how to dispatch these supernatural, vicious, evil, bloodthirsty clowns. It's only, I swear, only Todd Sheets could come up with this, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. This veteran filmmaker has been making independent films on micro budgets and such for years, and if you're a fan of his, let me tell you, Clownado should be one of those ones you must see. I enjoyed this film as much as Dreaming Purple Neon. It's more classic Todd Sheets we get than some of his other films, namely for the characters that he gives us. I mean, he gives us some really over-the-top extreme characters like he has in the past, and I enjoyed every single one of them. John O'Hare plays the big baddie here as Big Ronnie, who is the clown who leads the other supernatural clowns on their vicious rampage of revenge, and I loved his performance. Kind of felt like he was trying to audition for a role as the Joker, I will say, and he chews up every scene he's in, but that's okay, because I just found him very entertaining and very creepy. I mean, all the clowns in here are very creepy. I've got to mention Satchel the Clown, the only female clown of the group, played by Kate Phoenix, and I hope I pronounced that right. I loved her performance in here. She wasn't trying to be Harley Quinn or anything, but she showed that she was probably the most psycho of the group, actually, and I really enjoyed the personality that she brought to the clown, as well as all the other clowns. They all felt different, but they do tend to get overshadowed a bit by Big Ronnie. Now, as far as our ragtag group of individuals go, I think all the performers here do well. Bobby Westerisk as Hunter Fidelis, gotta love that name. Rachel Langan as Savannah Dane. You've got Dylan Fawn Harvey here as Bambi Fawn Taylor. And Linnea Quigley shows up for a small cameo, playing the same character she played in Sorority Babes at Slime Bowl Ballerama, the name Spider. So you gotta give props there for a little callback to a lesser known film I think that many more should know about. As far as the gore goes, Todd Sheets really brings the practical gore, as well a mixture with some CGI effects as well. Didn't use a whole lot in here, which helped kind of save it, showing its lower production value, but the gore is aplenty and well done, as it always is in Todd Sheets films. It's one thing you gotta say, if nothing else, is the makeup effects, and the gore effects really are done well. I like the way this film was paced. It does move along, though. It does get a little bit repetitious, I am going to say there, and maybe just a bit confusing in the storyline a bit, namely because of the way it opens. It opens where everybody has a rather thick accent. It almost feels like he was going more for maybe that pulp novel feel to it, which this does kind of have that feel to it, including the gratuitous nudity, which you will have in here that accompanies the gore, and there's some humor worked in, which I really thought was well placed and actually hit most of the time with me. So overall, Clownado, yes, it is a small production quality, so there is some of that aesthetic, but Todd Sheets always manages to make the most of what he has, and if you're a fan of his, you definitely should check out Clownado. It's one of his films that I've enjoyed more than some of his other films, so it's more on the top of my list for more enjoyable Todd Sheets films, that's for sure, and I think you should check it out if you like the kind of gritty, sleazy Grimehouse flicks that is poking fun at the Sharknado craze as well as the clown craze, getting that all in this interesting package. So there you have it, folks. Not really made for mainstream horror fans, I will warn you there, but those liking indie cinema, I think you should check it out as well. So there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate your support. Check out our Patreon as well. Some great material there. And until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub.